Well, it's time to start sanding in the box. Now, it's going to be a pretty tough job, but we'll get her done. Just go nice and slow. So what I'm going to do first, I'm going to try and get the floor, the bottom of the floor done first, and then I'm going to try and just use my palm sander on all this stuff. So I'm going to start with some 220, just give it a light little stroke, get it close, and then we'll hit it with some 320, and then go around, just slowly go around. These, the wheel tubs, of course, they've just been primered, so I've got a little bit of more primer to put on them, because where I welded them, there's it peeled a little bit of the primer off, so I've had to repair that. You can see, well, I'll show you later. But most of the stuff I'm going to try and block. This is feather fill. If you remember, this is not just regular primer. I went, right from my body work right to feather fill. So I'm hoping to go right from feather fill straight to paint. Of course, there's going to be the odd spot where I'm going to have to put a little bit of primer. That's just life. It's going to be hard to film this, because what I've decided is I'm going to leave it on the rotisserie. And I've got some, it just makes it's pretty high off the ground. It's probably just about 4 feet off the ground here. But I'm going to spray the box. I'm going to try and do it in one spray. And so if I have it on the rotisserie, I can really turn it and get in there. I think I can do it. We're going to try. We'll give it the college try. All right. Go get a mask. Just using the 220, and you know what? Things are going a lot better than I thought they would. And I haven't even changed my paper. I've gone from here to there, probably 1.5 feet up. And I thought this feather fill was gonna be a little tougher, but pretty happy the way it's turning out. And then what I'll do is I'll just circle where there's a pinhole, and we'll do a quick repair on that. But it's coming along really good. Gonna make some progress today, which is a good thing. Things are coming along pretty good. This is a slow process. I've got some new gear today. Wearing my slippers so I don't get the back of the box all dirty. And that's helped a little bit. When you're wearing your boots and stuff that you've been wearing outside, it's not a good thing. So I just got this section here left to go. I was gonna use just my sander. I will for my 320, but I find that, I find the little nicks a little bit easier if I'm using this, and I just circle them so that I can get some putty on them. And it seems to be working out pretty good. This is sanding a lot easier than I thought it was, this feather fill. So I'm just going to turn the mind off and just keep on sanding, And I find if you use a little lighter stroke, your sandpaper isn't plugging up too much, and things go pretty good. There is the odd spot though that I'm going to have to, I didn't get very much feather fill on the front here, so there's a little bit of rust pitting there that I'm going to have to fill. Minor, there's still the odd little thing here and there, but I'm pretty happy the way this box is turning out. It's going to look really, really good. A lot of effort went into it though. Better look good. We're just getting ready to prime this back piece. Now it had some rust pits in there, and I didn't really want to fill them until I had some epoxy primer on them. So I got the rust pits all done, and I'm ready now to just give it a quick coat of primer, and then we can start finishing this off, final sand, so we can get some paint on it. It's a big job when you have to go, get every little spot sanded, especially, there's so many little corners on this thing. It's going to be a big job, but the toughest part, the 220, I've already done that. It's already done the work. So 320 will go a lot faster. I'm hoping so anyway. I'll get some primer mixed up, and we'll get this, we'll get a coat on here. Next morning, time to start the final sand. So, like I said, everything's been kind of roughed out, and if I need to, I'll just use a primer and a spray can, just to, if I got a little bit of a scratch or something like that, or I have to do a repair. But I think everything else, I'm pretty happy the way it's turned out. And now I just have to give it a quick sand with 320. Well, quick is a term. It's not going to be that quick. It's going to take some time. Give her a shot of guide coat first. That way I know what I'm doing. I don't mind using the palm sander on the inside of the box. You know, it just speeds things up a little bit. You know, I'm using a light touch. You don't want to put any grooves in it or anything like that. Could have used the orbital as well, but you know, there's just a lot of little straight edges there, and the palm sander works pretty good. But, you know, if you want something to be really nice and straight, just block it out when you're done, and that'll take it to the next level. So to do all the corners and some of the edges, I'm using my oscillating saw, and I really like the way it gets in there, and I've got it turned down low. You don't want to go too much, you could do some damage. There's a lot of surface area on the inside of a box, so it's going to take some time to get everything sanded. I'm kind of following along with my scuff cloth and just making sure that I've got everything done, so I don't really have to go back and do it again. So the feather fill is doing everything I'm asking it to, that's for sure. Filling in a lot of the scratches and just finishing up on the little things now. I gotta finish this up. You know, most of the sanding is all done, and man, I tell you, it looks really good. But that was a lot of work. You know, you have to decide how far you really want to go when you're doing the inside of your box. And I really like the inside to be nice, of course. I've said that a bunch of times. And you know, you just kind of plug away at it. That's probably the best approach. Just plug away. But anyway, got a little bit of sanding left to do, and then we got to tape everything up, and then I got to clean my shop, which is going to be a pretty big job because there's a lot of dust in here. I'm hoping tomorrow's going to be windy. I can just open up the doors and just kind of blow everything out. Kind of nice. So yeah, it's the evening. Decided to work a little bit this evening, and I really like working in the evenings. It's nice and quiet. For some reason, it just seems like you get more done. Don't know why. But anyway, I'm gonna finish this up, and then open up the door, blow this out, and then start cleaning the shop.
Just working on the seam sealing here. All these joints on this Ford got to be sealed up, and you know, you got some pretty deep crevices, and it's hard to do. Really tough. Now the only way I found is to tape it. You have got no choice. You need a big roll of paper towel. I'm just using some black seam sealer. I've got a bottle of, this is just some regular old thinner, paint thinner. And I'm just going to put a nice bead in. Now you have to have enough, because if you just put just a tiny bit, you got to work that in. And then I just use my finger, push it in. Like that. If you want just a real nice finish, I just give it a real light mist with some thinner. And go back over it. Just like that. Done. Get rid of that piece of paper towel. Take your tape off right away. Done deal. Looks good. Lots to do on this truck. Been at it a couple hours already. It's pretty hard to film this, just simply because it's way up in the air. Got a little bit of a dirty spot here. Just thinner on a piece of paper towel. And if you want really good results, you would let this one set up a little while before you would tackle this one or that one. And that's what I'm going to do. All right. I shall continue on. Now this one here, it's been sitting for about 3 or 4 hours now, and this stuff shrinks a little bit. So come back, take a look. If you're not happy, put another coat on. But the second coat's a lot easier because it's just a real thin one because you're just adding a little tiny bit. So just a little jag like that. And you can also I just wet my finger, a little bit of thinner. Hopefully I'm not blocking in here, reaching. That'll be good. Okay, take off the tape. That looks way better already. I'll let that set overnight. Tomorrow, I think we're ready for some paint. Got a couple more to do, and the evening will be over. There's the remnants from doing all that caulking. It took me about, a good about 5 hours to do all that caulking. Anyway, that's a lot of paper towel, that's a lot of tape. Well, it's the next morning. We're getting ready, prepping things up for paint here. Now, if you got a little bit of, kind of like little residual, from doing all your seam sealing, all you have to do is just take a little bit of thinner on a rag and just wipe it right off. Hopefully you get that, I'm not in your way. Just like that. Done. We're all prepped up, we're ready to go. Just got to throw some plastic down on everything. And so this area here, at the back, I'm just going to spray the top a little bit. I'll paint that when I paint the whole box, the outside of the box, just because I've got these in the way. I'm not going to be able to do a good job of spraying that, so leave it. Get her later. It's looking good.
Big step. I'm laying down a coat of epoxy primer as a sealer, and I find with the red, what I'm doing is I'm going with a kind of a medium gray. So I'm taking a gray epoxy, 2 parts gray epoxy and 1 part black, and that's the color that I'm using. Now for paint, we're just using a single stage, and this one happens to be Ford Code T, so it's, I guess they call it a candy apple red. Looks good. I really like the single stage. You know, it's a bit of a time saver, and it's a little cheaper to do that way too as well. Time to take some plastic off. This is the best part of the whole paint job right here. One of the things I do is I like to spray my stake pockets first, you know, before I do the outside, because that is a run waiting to happen. And that'll just save you some, you know, personal hardships. And then you can just put a piece of paper down there, you know, when you do your final coat on the outside. 'Cause every time you try and get in there, you hit it a little hard, and then you end up getting a little bit of a sag. Quite happy with the way everything turned out here. It's red. Big job done. Quite happy. Well, a lot of time went into this on the inside of this box, but you know what? It paid off. It looks beautiful, and you know, when it comes to resale, they're gonna be able to look at this and go like, that's nice. You know, it's not covered up with some box liner. It looks like it came from the factory. Anyway, that's the end of this episode. We're going to carry on. We're going to start with some undercoating here, and then we're going to get the cab pulled in here, start working on that. Things are moving along, so this project, we might be able to get her done by the end of spring. You never know. Anyway, thanks for watching. Stay tuned.